Hi, I work with the World Development Indicators data quite frequently, and I thought it'd be nice to put together a tutorial that showed how you can restructure that data into a format that's more useful for SPSS, which is the statistical program I like to use to examine the data. So here I am on the World Development Indicators Databank website, and that's where you get to select your countries of analysis, the different series or variables you want to examine, and the time frame. And I've already selected all countries. I've decided I want to study smoking prevalence and the crude death rate, and I've also already selected my time frame, which is going to just be the last available data, I think 2015. All right, so there it is. And then you click Download Options, then I choose Excel. Not much else happens, but if you look in your download folder, you'll find that it has then downloaded. Once our data is downloaded, we go back to SPSS. And the nice thing is SPSS can open Excel files. You just have to tell it to look for them by using this drop-down menu. Okay, and there's the file I saved. I renamed it Smoking and Death Rate. And it's the first sheet there, so that's right. And then there's my variable view, and there's my data view. So what I'm getting at with this tutorial is you'll notice how these data are structured. You have each country with each time series as a row. And in order to do statistical analysis, we need these time series to be columns, not rows. So that means we have to restructure the data. Now, first of all, we have to save this as an SPSS file, or it's just going to ask us to do it anyways. And I've already done that, so I'll just save over it. Okay, and that's done. I'm not sure what that's saying. It's okay. Hopefully that won't matter. In any case, we're going to move on. So from there, we're going to go to Data. We're going to come down to Restructure. We're going to go Restructure Selected Cases into Variables, because you'll notice that our cases, our variables are rows, and we want them to be columns. So we're going to go cases to variables instead of the other way around. We're going to use the first two, the country name and the country code, as the identifier variables. You should always have those included whenever you download a file. The only thing that's going to be different is going to be the values and the series you use. All right, so we're going to go next. Sort the current data, yes, we'll leave that as it is. Group the variables, leave that as it is. Restructure the data now, yes. So we'll click Finish. Okay, and there we go. Now you'll notice instead of seeing 3 of each country, there's only one. There's only one country code. We do have these kind of useless, somewhat useless columns here that simply repeat the series names and then the series code names. We're actually going to use the series names because if you look, the actual data, we get down to the edge of the data set here, they don't have very informative labels. So what we've got here is 1 is going to be our first series, 2 is going to be our second series, and 3 is going to be our third series. So if we go into the variable view, go to labels, right? You'll see that you can change those here. There is no 4th series, so that should be deleted. Okay, so we go back to data. We will copy the names of the first, second, and third series, and then we will paste them over. Once again, I'm not sure why that's there. Alrighty. So series 1 was the crude death rate. We'll go back to variable view, and we'll paste that in there. Go back to data view. Series name 2 is smoking prevalence for males. Go back to variable view. Paste that in there. We'll go back to data view. Series 3 is smoking prevalence for females. We'll copy that. Go back to variable view. Then paste that in. Once we're done with that, we no longer need any of these columns here. So we can go back to variable view, and then we'll simply highlight all of those. You can hold the control button down and delete many at the same time. Once those are all selected, you can click clear. And now we have exactly what we need for our analysis. We've got the country code, and the 3 series that we wanted to examine. All right, thanks for watching.